and just listening, you know.
All right,
Like
sorry.
this is mainly like an introduction to all of us, I guess.
Did anyone else join while I hit the recording?
I don't know if anyone else will be getting in on the call. Let me look.
I think Angelia was asking if 3 other people are going to be on the call, and I think they're responding now. I know Ali from the Grow or Die group, he said something about getting on there. I'm not sure if he's going to come on.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the messages that she's sending. Because I know she's having some phone issues out there in North Dakota or wherever she is, North Dakota, South Dakota, somewhere.
Right.
I guess the towers aren't really too good. But I'm thinking if we do not have, enough people on the call, we might need to schedule a date and a time in advance, so that way it'll be better, so that way we can, schedule properly. Like me personally, I don't have a problem with it. I can jump on at any time, but, we definitely would like to see what's good for other people's schedule.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, because when people know a specific time, it's easier for them to make arrangements.
Right.
Yeah, that was my bad today. I was just I'm up all night with the kids, and then I get a couple hours sleep in the day. So it's normally around this time is when I'm able to get on.
Oh, we weren't saying anything against you. We understand. I heard you talking about your kids, so I have a little one too. I have a 7-year-old, so I totally understand.
It's pretty much me with them because my wife's in nursing school all day.
Okay. So you're like the stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, I'm a veteran, so I got shot in my back while I was in the military, so I just stay home and use my disability benefits while my wife goes to school. So.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I'm sorry to hear. Were you in Iraq?
No, I actually got shot at home during the FTX, the field training exercise.
Damn. How did that happen?
Yeah. Man, it's kind of a long story, but I was getting harassed a lot because being one of the only Muslims in my unit. I joined like shortly after 9/11 when I was.
You was one of them crackers.
Yeah. And the drill sergeant told me like they throw around with my Quran and tell me I'm a terrorist, I'm belong in the military. So he's pretty much trying to break me. I thought it was hazing. So I'm like, whatever,
Oh, man, that's wow.
Oh, they told me like, say like I can kill you, make it look like an accident, whatever. And
oh God.
2 weeks later, I was shot during a live fire exercise.
And it's that's what I'm saying. Is like I didn't realize how racist America was until I joined the military. When I was overseas, man, and I was in the Navy, so my petty officer, she was telling me shit like, we own you and blah, blah, blah. And when she said that, I knew she wasn't talking about GI. I knew she wasn't talking about government issue, you know what I'm saying? She was talking as if, like, nigga, you were saying we own you, we do what we want. And I was like, what? Oh, y'all messing with the wrong one, you know what I'm saying? And it's, like, the experience, I enjoy the fact of, being able to travel around the world, meeting different people and different cultures and things like that, because that let me see how messed up this country really is. And everywhere I went around the world, I was embraced. I was called brother. I never even heard the word nigger, a Negro, or none of that stuff.
Right.
Outside of America. But it's an unfortunate event that happened to you, man. I'm sorry to hear that, but these crackers ain't no joke, man. These crackers are no joke.
Yeah, I'm from Alabama, guys, so I know a little bit about Urugu and the things they do. I'm from North Alabama, so I can sympathize with you. They on another level where I'm from, so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it happened to me in Georgia. I was at Fort Benning, Georgia when it happened. So yeah, it was right in the South. Man.
That's like what, an hour and a half away from here? Hour and a half, 2 hours away from Atlanta?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But it's actually a blessing in disguise because now I don't got to work a regular job. I get paid, and I was able to buy this land, you know.
Right. It all happens for a reason, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, I wound up getting a medical discharge. I had I tore my ACL and meniscus and everything like that. And shoot, and it was like they did surgery and stuff, and I had excuse my language, but I had a asshole therapist and stuff. So like within a month after my surgery and stuff, after rehab, he was like, yeah, you go back to doing your normal stuff. So one day I started trying to play basketball, retort. So I wound up getting a medical discharge. And it was like, well, hell, you're not healing right and everything else. Do you want to get out or stay? And I was like, well, what'll happen if I get out? We'll pay you for the rest of your life. Let me out. Let me out this motherfucker. No hesitation or nothing. Let me out. Y'all messed me up enough.
I feel it, man. Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah, man. It's last year, man, my daughter, my oldest, she's 20 this year, but we was going at it back and forth because she was so adamant about joining the military, and I'm like, look, you are a woman for one. You're not going to the military. You don't, and then they send your ass overseas. You don't know how these people are. You're not going to do it. But you did it when you was young. Yeah, it was different then, but you're not going to do it. I did it so you don't have to, And then for one thing, is like I just let her see is like, this country don't give a damn about you. These people don't give a damn about you. You're not going to serve these people who are not going to serve you. I remember they tried to give me an Article 15, bring me up on court-martial charges because I was in the military when Clinton was in office, and Hillary was coming out there to do something. So they wanted me on a special unit and be an escort, and they was like, well, if anything happens, if y'all see any danger, if you got to jump in front of a bullet or whatever, do so.
Oh, wow.
And I said, will she jump in front of a bullet for me?
Right.
I didn't realize I said it that loud, you know what I'm saying? They was like, what?
We can answer that for you, Eddie. No.
I know, but it was like, I was like, hell no. Like, bitch, doctor saw me. Jumping in front of a bullet for nobody, shit. And so they wrote me up and all.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Gaynell, how you doing?
Hey, who's this?
Eddie Kane.
What's up, Logo?
So your name's actually Eddie Kane?
That's been my name since the military, since I got injured.
That reminds me of the 5 Heartbeats, man.
Yeah.
No, that was you know what's so funny? The funny thing is, everybody says that, and I didn't even see that movie until 2006.
Wow, no, really? The 5 Heartbeats is a classic.
I know it's a classic, but when I saw that movie, I was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, the reason why I got that name is because after I had tore my knee and everything else, I was on crutches, and I was walking with a cane for probably about 8 weeks. And the cane, it's like that cane was on the legs, and that's how it just came about like that. I don't even think 5 Heartbeats might have been at that time. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's been out since like the 80s, so it's an old movie.
Mm. Yeah, but can't nobody spit a poem like me, though.
That.
Oh, yes. And,
I'm waiting on anyone else to call. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. So is 4 of us on now?
Yeah.
Oh, Gaynell, I wanted to ask you about the meeting that you said on the, I put a post up. Is that on the 28th or the 29th at Cafe Istanbul?
Yes, the 28th.
Okay, and what time is that?
It starts at 11 a.m.
Okay, great. I'm going to have my business partner come out there, and he'll be able to chop it up with you. I think he knows Sills. I'm not exactly sure his name, but I was already telling him about it so that way he can get more information, and he can let you know as far as what's going on, what we're doing out here in Texas, and the things that we're working on to help get our people together.
awesome. And then if anybody want to know anything, like any questions about it or whatever, you can call me personally at 504-258-9867. I will be happy to explain. But it's about time that we start having action instead of just talking.
That's right.
All right, let me write this down. 258-9867?
Yes.
Okay.
So, have you guys got a chance to look at the videos I posted in that group, or in my group, the Rebuilding Alkebulan?
So I don't even know about any other groups.
I actually started from the bottom when you started the group, so I was going up, so I didn't get to the videos yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I started the group before I even bought the land, trying to get people to help me, going on the land with me, but I ended up failing, ended up doing it myself. And then a few months later, I ended up going out and buying the land and getting it done. But I got videos of me like on the land. I got a whole layout of the whole, me doing a walkthrough of a portion of the land, so y'all get a good view of what it looks like. Then I got videos of like I'm planting trees and turning out some part of the land and drilling the well and stuff like that.
Got it.
And that is in Georgia, brother?
Yeah, it's in Georgia, about 35 miles outside of Sandersville, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's considered actually considered Bartow, Georgia, in Washington County.
Okay. And how far is that from Atlanta?
About 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Okay. Awesome.
So my plans with this land, I wanted to build, like an independent, sustainable community for people of African descent. And I was hoping like it's only 10 acres, so the way I set it up, I set aside like 2 acres or 2.5 acres for the housing, so it's gonna be pretty close quarters. But the only thing we can really put on there is like double wides and trailers. And then I wanted to have a lot of the farming I was doing in greenhouses because of space requirements.
Mm-hmm.
You can grow a lot in greenhouses too, like hydroponic growing,
Right, aquaponics, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was going to I was starting off with the power pole because buying enough solar panels to power a community like that is going to cost a lot of money. So I started off with a power pole, and then eventually, as I get more funds, I can buy solar panels and switch over. But I wanted to build our own school there, so we can start teaching and educating our kids and who we are and stuff we need as people of color. And I wanted to build our own defense team because, there's going to be haters. And my wife actually grew up on a Muslim society like this, in Detroit. And there's a lot of people coming on trying to say they're terrorists and trying to get on the land. So they have armed security to, like, shut the gates and stuff, keep people away, and protect the community.
Right.
So, and I also wanted to, there's lots of what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to build, my thing with the community is I want everyone that comes to live on the community to invest in it. It don't have to be financial. It can be like going out there and putting in, work with your sweat and digging in there and helping build it. Invest in it and be a part of it, and everyone contribute to making it better. Like if you got skills in teaching, you can teach the kids. If you got skills in farming, you can be in charge of all the farming and growing the food. If you got skills in security, a lot of us are ex-military, so we can be involved in protecting the community. Stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what we were trying to do as well. And I think that it's awesome that everybody is actually coalescing their visions and their goals, because we really need something like that. And the fact that there's a select group of people who are actually thinking with vision is awesome. And the fact that you went and got the land, and just went and did it is awesome as well. So I appreciate you adding us to the community so we can actually work on that and get everything started, because it's really needed. It's much needed. So.
Trying to
Is
find
that
like-minded
Angelia?
people. Oh, go ahead.
Is that Angelia?
Oh, no, ma'am. This is, my name is Jamila. I'm
hi,
a friend.
Jamila.
Hi. I'm a friend
yeah.
of Angelia's.
Okay, so nice to meet you.
Yes, ma'am. Nice meeting you as well.
Oh, well, Angelina won't be able to, she's having reception problems because she's out there in the food area.
Mm-hmm.
So she's having reception problems, and she's been having me do some things for her. She's just been texting me information and you know, just having me taking care of her things for her. So I'm just
And it's Eddie?
Yes, ma'am.
In the flesh. Eddie came in the flesh.
Yes. That is ours. That is the one who gets all kind of flack for all of his posts.
That's all right. That means you're doing something right.
Exactly, and the great thing I love about it is that I don't even have to cross people out of my life. They're just weeding themselves out automatically, which is good.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what
right.
happens. Yeah.
You know, and I just find it so funny when especially, you know, with black people, when we speak upon things that's concerning us, they wanna call what we do militant and things like that. Is no, hey, I love our people. You know, that's not militancy. That's called black love. You know, what is wrong with you? You know,
why everybody can have self-preservation but us?
Yeah.
You know, we've been, you know, brainwashed and whitewashed, and you know, it's been beaten into us. You know,
right.
What I've discovered is most black people in America are really white on the inside. And it's sad, you know, but it's not really their fault because of lack of knowledge and everything else. But you know, a lot of times we don't want to wake up. You know, we thinking that, you know, we free because of the simple fact, you know, we have a car or we have this job that's paying X amount of dollars, but we still not seeing the fact that we are still in some form of slavery or another. You know, we don't want to accept that. You know, we don't want to acknowledge our past and things would happen to us, and that's the difference between us and the Jewish people, because they'll go ahead and talk about the Holocaust and they'll remind their children about it and things like that. But we don't want to do that. We want to just keep that under wraps, you know?
That's right. They have to know about it. And there's a saying in the court system, ignorance is no excuse of the law.
That's right. That's absolutely right. And if you want to take it biblically, lack of knowledge leads to death of a nation.
That's right.
So, Jashim, I have a quick question. You were saying that you and your family, you guys weren't trying to move, or you didn't estimate that you would move until August of next year, correct?
Oh, yeah, or into early 2017.
2017. Okay. So were you guys trying to get people on the land now to facilitate you guys getting there quicker, or was your goal just August of 2017?
Well, yeah, we want to get people on the land, but you have to get the basic stuff in first, you know, as far as like the well and the piping. We have running water and the water filter and power source and stuff like that. But and, you know, just for my family personally, it's like my wife's in nursing school and she doesn't want to transfer schools and stuff like that. So we're waiting for her to graduate first, and then we're going to head out there.
Got it. Okay.
But if you guys are okay with living completely off the grid with no water source or anything, well, the well is like partially dug, so it's not really finished. But if y'all, you know, then y'all are more than welcome to go out there and do what you do. But I prefer to have everything done, you know, that way, you know, because I figure once we get this land up and running and stuff gets built, it's going to get a lot of attention, you know. And I'd rather have it all my T's crossed and I's dotted when that comes. That way they can't say that people are living in squalor or don't have basic human stuff they need.
Right.
Anything they can use against us, you know.
Right. Understandable. How long do you think, and these are just general questions I'm just asking, how long do you think it would take for the water source and the power and all of that stuff to get done? And then after that, what do you see the timeline of, like the schools, the clinics, all of that stuff? Like, do you have a certain timeline for everything?
Yeah, like I do, but it's all based upon like the funding, or if I can get people that know how to build that stuff to come out there and do it. You know.
Okay, got it. Okay.
If I get it done sooner, then I'll get it all done and get people on there like as soon as possible. I got to GoFundMe, right? And GoFundMe, I estimated I have a black contractor out there. He lives on the land. He has his own portion of 10 acres that's a little further down, but you know, he's another brother who wants to make money by building on my land, so I figured, you know, help him out. And he went through and gave me an estimate of the cost of everything. So altogether, to get everything needed in there, if I pay him to do it, it'd be around $24,000. That's buying the stuff, that's turning the land, that's installing the stuff, that's everything. So if I can raise that money, I will have this land built up before the end of this year and get people on it.
Okay, that's your timeline. Okay.
All right. Versus, all right. What it sounds like as far as that money, that concerns, you know, labor and things like that, right? But it wouldn't be as much as if, you know, we have some people that can actually come out there and help. Like basically, what I'm saying is like a concept like what me and my uncles used to do as far as construction is concerned and things like that when working on each other's house. I would hire them to help build the house, but I would help them. I would hire them to build the house, but I would help them build the house, therefore minimizing my costs.
Got it. Mhm.
Right.
And that's what I was saying in the meeting yesterday. I mean, on the group chat. I have no problem, you know, coming out there, you know, as far as if you know, you need help tilling the land and preparation and anything like that, which, you know, that'll help minimize the cost. That would not be a problem at all.
Yeah, I agree. And I know Love Power, he actually used to build homes. The guy that Angelia added from the Grow or Die group as well, Love Power Majestic, he has experience building homes as well. And that was one of the things that he said that he could do if you were looking for somebody to come down and do that, because I know he would do that and just you know, live on the land without any payment. You know what I'm saying? Because that's something that he said that he would do. So if you needed someone who wouldn't charge, or you know, you were trying to reduce the cost, I would actually look at Love Power as well because he has that experience.
Okay, yeah. Because you know, I like I said in the group, I'd rather have good people that know how to do the stuff than all the money in the world, you know. Because money comes and goes, but good people, they're hard to come by. And it was hard enough for me to find like-minded people that are actually serious about separating from the society and living on our own and building our own. You won't believe how much hate you probably will, how much hate I get from our own community about this, you know. So I'd rather have the support of some like-minded people than the money, you know.
Right.
But well, anyone else got any questions about it?
The land. So you and your wife, do you guys are you guys open to? Because I saw on the group you were talking about like contracts for everybody that lives on the land. So are you saying the contracts are going to be where people have like a buy-in on the land, or are you saying that that just like a behavioral contract, like you have a certain way that you have to act when you're on the land, when you live there, blah, 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 blah. Like, can somebody be kicked out if they act out of pocket? Like, you know, what's your goal? What's your idea and vision for, like, the actual community and the people that are living there?
For the actual community, like, I'm going to set up a board, of, you know, like, cause I plan to have 10 families there at least, you know, or 10 people. I mean, like, 10 people, not 10 people, like 10 families of people, you know, that are being there. And I want to have, you know, one person from each family be on the board to where we discuss and vote and talk about everything going on with the community. And so we can decide together as a community what we're going to do, what we need to get done, and what needs to be done. But also the contract it was more of a behavioral contract, and also to protect the person living on the land and to protect, you know, protect myself too, you know, because some people,
of course,
that they front and say that they're like this, they're a certain way, but then when they actually get to know them and they move on your land and stuff, they act a certain way, and they're being a way that's a danger to the community, and then you try to remove them from the community, then they want to say, well, you have to evict me, you have to go through all this other stuff, and so with the contract kind of protects both the community and myself and my family too. Yeah.
Of course. Would you set it up like with a corporate structure, S corporation, C corporation, or trust, the LLC? Because you said a board of directors, so that would entail some type of corporation, correct? Like a C corporation or like a trust. Like what? How would you structure it?
I was just gonna do just like it's like some people from the community. I wasn't gonna have any real corporate
structure. Okay, so you basically wanted to do kind of like a tribunal, like where it's just okay. Because when you said board of directors, I thought you had already set it up like a structure, like a corporation. Because some people do that, like they're into trust and stuff. But you mean like a tribunal where it's like everybody is just within the community is making the decisions.
Yeah, because I don't want people to think that just because I own the land that I'm in charge, which I'm not. Like we're all community, we're all in this together, and we're all contributing, we're all investing. It's everyone makes the whole decision together. There's no leader, there's no president. We all decide together as a community or a family, if that's what we want to call it, for the betterment of us all. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, because that's what we were actually trying to do, because we were going to set up like a CSA, which is like a farm structure where, of course, it's like people buy in subscriptions to the farm to kind of keep the land going, to have some type of economic base, and then like have maybe like 9 people, a council of people that, like you said, was like a tribunal, so we can all have some type of decision making in the process. So it's like you said, there's no one leader, you know what I'm saying? No Malachi Z. York going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to put him out there like that. Let me take that back. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, just not know one person over everything, and then if he's taken away or she's taken away in some type of way, everything crumbles. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was funny you brought up Malachi.
I didn't mean to. When he said leader, I just because he had the land in Georgia and everything, and then once they came for him, everything got dispersed because he was the person that was like, running everything, and the rest of them didn't know what to do. So that's why I was like,
Right. But that is good as far as having it set up as far as like a tribunal or a corporation type thing, because, the way the laws are set up, a corporation is a living entity. Exactly. And therefore they can't take that away if it's set up as a corporation versus, and you will still be protected, being the landowner. I would suggest look at a few different things, will also be will be beneficial not only for the community, but for yourself and for your family as well. Because it would definitely need to be structured in a way that the government would not be able to touch it, because we all know how they get when people want to distance themselves. This is a cult, this is some David Koresh type stuff, or this is some Waco type thing. And but these are the type of things that they will try and do. But if it's set up in the form of a corporation, they won't be able to do that. So you might want to look at these, as far as those options, and, before everything starts to get developed and everything like that. That's just a suggestion.
Yeah, and just I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What happened with this Malachi guy? Was that something you guys were involved in, or what happened with it?
Oh, no. He was like what he called himself, like a prophet down here in Georgia. He was like, he said he was like kind of like Enoch or whatever. He was like a prophet like that.
Incarnate.
Yeah. And then they had their own self-sustainable community, but then of course the government came after him, and then he had they put him in prison, and then the rest of his community kind of just crumbled because what I'm saying, they came after him. So
they came after him once he did the pyramids.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But he was in Athens, right?
He was in somewhere in that area, and they had a lot of land down there.
Actually, I went to his compound. It was very beautiful.
Yeah, and I mean that's what I was saying. Like making sure, like Eddie was saying, making sure you have some type of structure because they can't really come down on you if you set in place the way that they would do it. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to go in the system the way that they would. Like I would suggest an LLC, only because getting land with because of the taxation issues with a C corporation or S corporation, an LLC is actually more beneficial than a strict corporation like that because you're double taxed. And then with an S corporation, of course, you have to go in, and there are certain eligibility requirements that you would have to do to be an S corporation. So I would actually look into an LLC because it's the better way to funnel real estate when you're trying to set stuff up like that. So, or a trust, which a trust you don't have to report your earnings, and nobody is actually aware of what you're making. But a trust is a lot more complicated to get set up, whereas a LLC, you can go through the state and have everything set up and then eventually maybe transition over into a trust.
What I was thinking about doing it is maybe as framing it as a religious Muslim community, because I know that you get a lot of breaks and stuff for having a community that's religious based on one of the recognized religions. And my wife, she grew up in a community like that, and this community has like several of them all across the United States, and they're able to do it without any problems. They have thousands of members living off the land there. But it's just the only problem they have is is like the white people going on there saying they're terrorists and trying to disrupt it. But besides that, they have no law enforcement issues and no. So I was framing it like that as a Muslim community, but it's for everyone who's of African descent. But if I frame it as a Muslim community, that's one of the recognized religions, so we can get a lot of tax breaks and benefits.
That is good, but also that is one of the things that made Malachi York a target.
Yeah, it was.
It was set up as a religious organization. That's what made him a target, and that looks like that's a threat also. Now, also that is a good idea, but another suggestion also is look into as far as with Moorish and things like that. So that way you have your freedom papers, basically your sovereignty, and they can't mess with you on that level. It's a lot of things as far as that you can look at before you get things done, but it is good that you've already thought about it. That is a good thing. You have various options, and the best thing, like I said, is you just want to make sure that you're protected and your family's protected and things like that. And is there anything around there where the state or the federal government, are they trying to build anything anywhere close to that area?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, because sometimes they will try and claim eminent domain just to try and ruin something.
Right. And Sandersville is a pretty really really small city, and in fact we're way out in the boons, like 35 miles way out in the boons, and in the middle of nowhere. Like you go out there's no traffic. In the land, no one ever goes down the dirt road that leads to my land. And it's and you never hear police or sirens. It's far away from everybody,
So do you mind? Do you mind people walking the land just to see what it's like, or?
Would you go out there and walk it and look at it? In that video I posted in my group, the pin video. It goes in detail what area is mine, and and it shows the markers that mark my land.
Got it.
Yeah. You're more welcome to go out there and look at it and see what I got, see what's going on there, and everything else. I'm hoping to make it out there in August. I might not be able to because I recently got in the car accident. I'm trying to get my car fixed and stuff. So I might not be able to make it in August. I might be able to make it in August. But if I can make it in August, I'm hosting a barbecue on the land, so everyone wants to come out and do the whole barbecue thing. and see people and interact and stuff.
Well, maybe we could all contribute to you coming down if you're having car issues or whatever, and then you can come down and we can all, you know what I'm saying, fellowship together. We can all, you know, just contribute to get you down that way. It won't be so hard on you and or your family, you know, to come down and do it.
Well, I appreciate the offer. You know, I'm just not one to take personal stuff like that. but I think my car will be okay because I have insurance, and so I just got to pay my deductible. But it's gonna take a while for them to actually fix the vehicle because it's kind of backlogged. So as long as my vehicle gets fixed on time, then I'll be able to make it down there. But if it doesn't get fixed on time, then I'm kind of screwed, you know.
Mm-hmm. So Eddie.
I'm sorry if I sound preoccupied. This woman, this white lady on Facebook called me a racist, and I was retired.
Oh no.
What? She was saying that I was a racist because I said white people never accept responsibility and all they do is deflect. Talking about that situation with Rachel. And she was like, for you to say something like that, you're a racist. I'm not like that. And I was like, as a collective, your people are like that. As an individual, some of y'all are okay. But as a collective, you all are savages. You all are destructive. You all do all of these things. This is something you cannot deny. History speaks for itself. And it seems like you are a racist. So I had to break down to her what a racist is. I have no power. I have no control. I cannot discriminate from you from getting a job, education, health care, things like this. I have no control over the laws. That is what racism is. You benefit from this racist structure. What have you done to stop doing this? Well, I didn't ask you if you get along with people. What have you done so everybody can have equality? You still getting things that I can't have. So what have you done? And so I'm sorry about that, but that's what I was trying to explain to this woman. I'm sorry, that's why.
Wow. They know that deep down. They know that. They just saying that for excuses reversalism.
Yeah, and it upset me because it was a black girl. Like, at first she was agreeing with me, then this white woman started saying, she was saying this. She was like, well, you're right, Tina, that is a little racist what he's saying. I'm like, all right, I got everything, dude.
You could have unfriended her, Eddie.
No, I don't have time for that. Look,
hey, I'm the same way. I will block you or delete you with
because I'm not arguing with stupidity.
Right. It takes too much energy and time.
That's right. We have so much to do. They got their stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
We have to become a collective and unified.
Exactly.
There's something else I was also thinking about doing with the land. Cause the whole reason why I'm so eager to put into this orchard, the fruit tree orchard, before anyone moves on there, it's that way I can sell the fruit to people who want to buy it, and that's the way to bring in income for the land and get stuff built on it. The reason why I want to get the orchard in so quickly. You know?
Correct.
You know, there's also a lake. There's a lake on the land. Well, the lake is not actually part of my land, but there's a couple other people that own sacred plots that are close by, and we all share the lake. So the lake, I actually got videos of the lake in there too. I want later on, after we're supposed to move on the land, I want to buy a whole bunch of fish and put the fish in there so they can breed, whatever. So we also have a stable source of fish to eat when we're on there too.
Sounds like you have a plan, sir.
Oh yeah, and I'm also I'm in a coalition of other people that own land, like people own land in Arkansas, people own land in Texas. I'm in a group of them too, and we're each building up our own communities, and we want to set up like a trade route, you know, in between my community and their community and everybody else's community. That way, if I have something their community needs, we can keep it all within our own people, and we can just trade and supply each other.
That's exactly right. And this is what we were saying as well. Like, we do that with other black enclaves, but white people, Yoruba, you got to pay us with dollars. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's not a part of the community that's like, not other black people, but anybody that's, you know, Arab, Chinese, white people, they got to pay us with dollars. Because see, they do that to they do that with us. See, we can't go to their community and
I don't
they'll
need
barter
to with them at all.
Well, I don't know if that's very realistic, because the thing about it is that sometimes there are some things that black people don't do. Like I've been trying to search for a green contractor in Atlanta forever. I cannot find a black green contractor. They're all Yoruba. So just certain little things like that. If push comes to shove and we can't find someone who's African who can do it, you know what I'm saying? And we have to.
No, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, but of course the first people that we will look to is our own. If not, you know, it would be somebody outside the community. But they would pay us with dollars. Like there would be no bartering with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Definitely understand that. Definitely understand.
So I have another question for you guys. Are you guys interested in living on the land, or just helping to build the land? Because I need people to come live on the land too. You know, that's what I need. To live off the grid with me.
Oh, we're interested in living on the land.
Great.
Like completely separated.
And what is you guys' timeline for actually living off the land, living on the land, separated?
Well, actually, to give you a background, we were actually going through the process of looking for land, because I'm leaving I work for corporate America right now, but in August, I'm going to start homeschooling my son. And so my timeline was to find some land by August or September and move on it. So I'm trying to get this, like I've been actually, the proposal that I sent to you, I've been actually working on for like a year and a half now. And so I was actually trying to do it, you know. I was actually trying to do it like as soon as possible. So we were actually looking at land in the area. We had like a real estate agent. So that's why that's why she contacted me and got me in touch with you, because we're actually already in the process of trying to do that.
Well, yeah. Well, if you want to come onto my land, I'll be happy to have you guys out there. Yeah. It's raw. It needs a whole lot of work, but you know, it's investment.
Right. And what we would, I was just gonna say, what we would do is just, if you wanted someone to come out there and just get everything started, of course, you know, we could all definitely do that. And that way, like you were saying, once your wife gets out of nursing school in August of 2017, that way everything probably would have already been set up and been working for a while before, you know what I'm saying, you guys actually came down there. And it's actually better for people to be living on the land. That way, there's some type of connection there. You know what I mean? Like there's some type of, because if people are just visiting the land and then leaving, you know what I'm saying, there's really not much connection there. They might not feel as entitled to actually do the work that needs to be done. But when you're actually living there and you get up every day and you're working on the land, things come quicker. You know what I'm saying? Things go faster. You know what I'm saying?
You're right about that.
That's something I was telling my wife too. Was like, you know, worst case scenario, if I couldn't find any like-minded people, then when I move out into land in 2017, like I would have, my finances would be a lot freer, because I wouldn't have the everyday monthly rent, everyday expensive bills living in the city. So I can live on the land and build it up really quick.
Right.
Right. So what do you guys think of this? Like, I implemented like ID cards for people who live on the community. That way, you know, we all know. I know some people, you know, like in every society, like, well, there are undercover people, there are coons, there are people that are going to try to destroy. So I'm trying to get some stuff for people, IDs for people, so we can identify who is actually in our community. And in the group, I posted a sample of what the IDs look like and everything else. So what do you guys think about that?
That's actually that's a good idea that you're talking about. With my team out here in Texas, what we was actually doing, we was looking at it as far as establishing. Might as well just go ahead and say it as far as because we're working already on the infrastructure and we're setting it up as a corporation, as a 501, whereas it'll be a non-profit, but we will incur these profits, but the profits that we incur, we're just going to use it for our people to reinvest in other things. And it's all going to be membership-based. And once we have so many members after this, with our team of people that we're already working with that's already naturalized, that have their naturalization cards and everything else, they will be teaching us and educating us as far as what to do so we can all have our naturalization. So if we all part of a membership type thing, put it like this, okay? If you go to Costco or Sam's, the only way you can get that is if you have a membership, right?
Right.
So if we have everything developed based on a membership, from grocery stores to education to discounts. I mean, we're working on the things that we're working on. I'm glad that you are working on, but we're working on it on a grander scale as far as infrastructure. That's the main thing we're working on. We're working on as far as with banking, with commerce, with exchanges and things. This is what we're working on, so we can build the capital for the infrastructure, so we can take over this. So instead of certain things like some people, I heard one. Yesterday, I read something where people was like, yeah, we can start a grocery store. It's easier to buy a chain of grocery stores once we have the money versus starting a grocery store from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? Like you buy a chain of Kroger's. Or when we get ready for the bank, instead of going ahead and start a bank, we buy a chain of credit unions. And this is what our team is working on as far as with the lawyers and the bankers and everything else, as far as that, with insurance and things of this nature. And it's all membership-based. I'm not sure if y'all know where I'm coming from, but
oh yeah, we do, because that's it seems like we all are of the same mind, because that proposal that I put up there, we have the same exact things that we're working on, Eddie. It's crazy. I think Angelia, she had messaged me, and she was like, you guys are actually on the same page, because that's exactly the same thing that we were talking about. Doing that thing, banking, having like a news vessel, a media vessel, to put all of our information out there, like a research institute, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
All of those different things, and set it up where, like you were saying, if we set it up where it's kind of like enclaves all around the country that are just like that, it'll be so quick they won't understand what's going on by the time we get everything started. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Then it'll be too big to fail. It'll be too big to touch, because once we get to that point, we'll already be networking with other melanated people as well.
Exactly. Like
we've already even oh my goodness. We started talking with people on the reservations about with the casinos and all, with these Native Americans, because a lot of people are like, well, yeah, they have their casinos, but they're only getting 25%. But if they have a better deal where they're getting 50% or 60% of their money that's on that reservation, they're more inclined to deal with us. And the same thing as far as with these exchanges. And one thing is breaking it down, even on a biblical level, okay? Because you have the tribe of Judah, you have the Levites, you have basically all of the various tribes are on the Western Hemisphere. And once we get our people straight, we can start dealing with the other tribes. And before you know it, it's literally the plan that we're working on can literally change this world within the next 10 to 15 years. And it is so great speaking with y'all, hearing about this. So when I give my business plan, I can go back with them and let them know what's going on. And then he can talk with you again when he goes out to New Orleans, so you all can get together. And, I mean, they can't stop what God has for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like this is the perfect time. This is meant, because everything is there. You can't bomb the internet. You can't do these. You can't do it. If we have these various communities throughout the country, you can't You can't destroy 500 communities that scattered throughout the country. You cannot drop a bomb because it's right next to one of your white neighborhoods and everything else. You can't do that anymore. You know, and when we have it, this is the reason why we want to set it up as far as with the membership, as far as how the nation is concerned, because that way, because the United States is a corporation. Most people don't know that, okay? The United States is a corporation, so does Canada, Britain, and all these other countries, okay? And they fall under the UN. When we have at least 10,000 members for this corporation that's set up, the UN will recognize us. And therefore, these other countries, well, this country can't do anything to us.
Right.
To what we're doing. And as far as with the banking system and the credit union, because we all know the petrodollar is going to fail. But as we're collecting these monies, we'll take these monies and go and get exchange for gold. So that way we can actually have our own currency that's backed by our own gold.
Right.
So I'm excited.
But you know, that's exactly what I was talking to my dad about. Just you know, my dad is actually Sunni Muslim, and we were talking about Gaddafi, and that was what he was trying to do. He was trying to set up his own currency that was backed by gold. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that way they could get away from up under the international bankers, and that's why he was killed. You know what I mean? So I'm totally in agreement with that, because we all know, like, their society is ending. That's why they're so desperate. That's why they're doing all these crazy things, because they see where this is going. You see what I'm saying? They're just trying to hold on to as much power as they can, but it's gone.
It's Armageddon for them. It's Armageddon for them. And either way it goes, and one thing you already know, within the next 5 to 7 generations, they're going to be wiped out anyway, even if we could just sit back and just watch it. Like, I was speaking with my dad about that. He was like, man, I wish I could do it live for the next 7 generations so I could watch them die out.
Right.
You know, because they had a negative birth rate and everything else like that. And this is something that can't be stopped. I mean, it is great. And see, one thing with as far as with the Gaddafi situation, that is messed up. We understand that's why he did that. But what I was talking about yesterday, we set up a system within the system.
Right.
We set up we duplicated it, is exactly mimic it the exact same way they, but it's for our benefit.
Exactly.
They won't see it, like you said before, until it's too late.
Right.
And, oh my goodness, this is so awesome. This is a great time to be black.
It is. Saturday, guys, I'm going to Houston for a Gold Explosion conference. My good friend, my daughter's good friend, her name is China Bethany. She has been a gold exchange expert for about 3 years now, and that is going to be the new exchange as far as anything else, because we know the dollar has gone below everything.
Right.
Everywhere I've been around the world, the United States dollar has definitely depleted.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be in Atlanta this weekend at a Gold Explosion conference, and I will give you any kind of information you need to know about how to start collecting gold, because gold will be the new exchange.
Exactly. And what we figured it out is because we're going to stockpile it, but it's not going to be in a central location. It will be in various locations, because even if they have gold, we're going to get it. Oh, you go to this one location, but we have 30 other locations that you don't know anything about.
Right.
Yeah, so we have to, and the reason why this is going to work is because they don't expect someone to do that.
Right.
They think we're too dumb. They think we're too stupid. You know what I'm saying? We don't need every black person in America to participate. Even if we have 10% of that retail spending, which is $100 billion. If we had $100 billion, we offset the whole economy. We buy politicians. We buy small towns, the mayors, the local governments, the police, everything. We change everything. And what's so funny was that that's why I put that post up about the lady that was elected mayor in San Antonio. because me and my partners, we was just talking about this, and all of a sudden I saw that post when the woman was elected, and it was like, man, the Most High is awesome. You know, we just using us to enact His plan.
Right.
It is great. This is a great time.
I was thinking about like the building like a little underground place too. Like
that's definitely
in case of emergency. So like how they bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma, in case something like that. I doubt it would happen. In case it does, we have a little underground suitable place. Bunker, yeah.
Mhm.
And that's fairly easy to do, because all you need to do is get these tankers. That's it. And you have them about 20, 30 feet underground. That's nothing to do at all. There's always tankers and certain things like that. And then one thing about these tankers, they're actually sturdy. You could use them for homes and all that as well, on top of the ground. And one thing when we were looking at, as far as with the agriculture and all, the hydroponics and aquaponics and all, because, the weather is always constantly changing, but we're using hydroponics and using this to tanker. We grow food year round, whatever crops that we want.
Right, like the aquaponics, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it yields a lot of food compared to in-ground planting. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Permaculture and irrigation is definitely a must in this. The way
we have to have our own food.
Mhm. Yeah.
So they're gonna actually my friend, one of my friends, he's in Africa right now, and he's going out there and he is collecting various seeds for plants and all, and bringing them back here. So that we start having a source, because all this GMO stuff is nah, But this is great. This is almost like I feel like I'm in church. To be honest with you. I'm serious. I feel like I'm in church.
Yeah, spiritual experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is so great.
I think it just goes to show all of us that the universe is telling us that it's our time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's our time to get back to what we used to be. And it's even better. You know what I'm saying? Because our ancestors are watching out for us. They're looking at us. They're making sure that we are going the way that we are supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? That's why we all feel like this. That's why we all are connecting like this, because we all know, we need this connection with each other. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we can get any further with what we're trying to do, things that we're trying to change. We have to be connected to each other in some type of way. And like you said, we don't need a million people. You know what I'm saying? If we just have a small group of us that are working towards this, our energy it'll change everything.
Yeah, you're right. Because sadly, our people are the type of people that we don't jump on an idea. We have to actually see it. Like if you build it, people will come type thing.
Mhm. You right. Yep. And especially with our people, like if they see an example, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I can do that too," and they'll go out and they'll get some things set up, and it'll be like,
It'd be awesome. Oh my goodness. And we can actually properly educate our children and get them out of that, homeschooling, and we create our own schoolhouses and all. And actually, one of our other business partners, he's designing a curriculum. He's trying to start a charter school in New Orleans. They knocked him down twice, but he's gaining momentum as far as that. He's gotten a lot of people behind his back. And what we want to do is use the model that he has. Now, and what we were looking at as far as we can actually literally have our children graduating at the age of 15 and things like that, and be on a whole nother level, because the way the school is set up now, you're giving these kids 3 months off school. This is no longer a farming economy, but the we have it was you go to school year round, and they get out of school around the time when the parents get off from work. You're good to go. The parents don't have to worry about fitting and everything else. They know their children in the right place. They know their children being fed properly, being educated properly, and they're learning technical skills. They're also learning about agriculture, technology, self-defense, so many different things. And it is time for us to take our stuff back, because I can tell you one thing. I don't go to school board meetings. I don't even complain about the schools and none of the other stuff. I think it's asinine to complain about your oppressor miseducating your children. And this is what I tell people all the time. How are you going to complain to master about not educating your kid? That's like teaching him how to read so he can get off the plantation.
That's
like,
exactly
not going to do that.
That's exactly why I'm taking mine out and going back to homeschooling him, because you can't rely on your enemy to teach your children, because they're not. You know?
Exactly. Oh my goodness, y'all! I love this conversation. My Latinos are looking at me. They're starving. I gotta go cook them their food. Y'all see the look on their face. They look at us like, "Dang."
Well, I think everything was very productive. If you guys want to set up maybe a weekly conference call, or a bi-weekly, or not bi-weekly, but a twice-a-week call or something like that, and we could all come back with ideas and just go over things further. I mean, it's definitely up to y'all, because I'll be there. I'm in 100%. My collective, the other two guys that I work with, and Jamel, I can just let them know everything that's going on. You post the call so they can hear the recording, and then we can all just discuss it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sounds great. Sounds awesome.
All right, I'll post the call in about maybe a couple hours, because after this call I have to run to the store, get some stuff for the babies and stuff. But after that, I'll definitely post the call. But I just want to touch on one more thing, because you said something about controlling our own, doing our own media and stuff. Well, you said that I have a bachelor's degree in journalism, so I can definitely do that area, quite well.
All right, cool. I need to get with you about that too, because that's what one thing we're creating with Eddie Kane Media. That's concerning the radio, as far as not just radio, but we also working on the digital media platform that'll be coming out in December, early January, where we start having our own shows and things like this. And that is good. So I definitely need to connect with you about that, so we can get all of this underway.
Awesome, yeah, because I had the bachelor's degree in journalism, and I've published 5 books, or 4.5 books, because the 5th book isn't out yet, but working on it. So, yeah, I can definitely help in the media area.
Great. That is perfect. And it's all happening so effortlessly. That's how you know it's meant to be.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll post my number in the chat area, so if you guys have any questions, you want to call me directly, because I said during the day I'm sleeping most of the time because I'm up all night, but in the afternoon time, feel free to call or text or whatever,
Cool.
Great.
Okay, well, it was awesome, you guys. I'm a head off the call, but I just want to say peace and blessings to everybody, and it was awesome.
Peace and blessings. Black Power, Queen.
Anybody who's in the Atlanta area, I'll put out some information about this gold explosion.
Oh, yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, appreciate it.
All right, y'all have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.